nothing here is above €8. Nothing. Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Carmel, and in today's video we have a full face of Catrice makeup. It's no secret around here that Catrice are most definitely one of, if not my favourite drugstore makeup brand, and it's not just because they keep their prices so incredibly low, it's because they maintain the quality of their products time and time again. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a bunch of brand new makeup from Catrice and some staples that we already know and love, and I'll be telling you what I think is worth the money and what isn't. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please do keep on watching. We're going to crack straight on because I have so much to get through today. I have a bunch of products. We're going to start actually with the lip products because I've got so many lip products to show you. And this one I'm actually going to wear as I'm doing my makeup. So this is the Catrice Colour Glaze Lip Tint, and this retails for about $5.25. I'll pop all of the prices in euros on the screen for you while I'm going through this, because no doubt I'll forget to tell you the price. But as I mentioned in the intro, the majority of Catrice products are between €3 and I would say €8 at the maximum. So this is basically a glossy lip tint, and I really love this. I really do. I picked up one shade and I went back for another. So the shade that I'm going to pop on today is called Tinted Love, and apparently the longer that you leave these on, the better the stain will be and the more that it will deepen. Now, I haven't worn this for an extended period of time. These are pretty new. So at the top is the shade Mood Nude, and at the bottom is the one we're going to pop on, which is Tinted Love. These feel so gorgeous, and we'll see at the end what kind of lip product we want to finish with. It might be this one. I love how that looks so much. So we're going to see if that tints the lips now as we go along. But we're going to go in on the brows. I've got nothing on my face yet at all, apart from this lip product. I have already prepped my skin with my usual serum and moisturiser. So we're going to go in with the Catrice Brow Sleek Laminating Wax, and this retails for $6.25. So it's a little bit like the e.l.f. Brow Laminating Gel, where you have the brow holding product on one side, and on the other side you have these little spoolies that you can use as well, which is really handy. Now this is okay. This is a fine product. It's definitely not been my favorite product to use. I've had this for ages now, and I remember the first time that I wore it, I felt like it left a bit of a white cast, but I don't know whether that was user error. I mean, it's a big possibility that it was user error. But actually, I was wearing this yesterday and it did a really nice job. So yeah, maybe I jumped the gun with my analysis of it. It definitely keeps the brows in place all day. And actually, I feel like it's quite expensive for Catrice. £6 is more on the pricey side for the brand, honestly. I'm happy with that. I think it's a really nice product. So then we are going to go in with this. This is pretty new from Catrice. This is the Microblade Brow Pen, and this retails for $4.45, and you have to shake this really well before you use it. But the shade we're going to use is 040 Bold Espresso. It's got the most fine tip. Look at that. Isn't that insane? So I'll show you some brow strokes. So that's Bold Espresso, and I really rate this product. You know that I'm really fussy when it comes to brow pens, like so fussy, but this is really good. So I'm just going to take really light strokes. Now, I don't think it's possible to go in heavy-handed with this, if I'm completely honest with you, because it's so feathery. I think it's really good. And I've been using this a lot and popping it in my handbag, you know, because I don't know about you, but every time I go outside and I see myself in the car, I realise how bad my makeup is, and especially my eyebrows. Really nice and natural strokes. And yeah, great. Look, it's giving me brows when I don't really have any. I just cleaned up the eyebrows just a little bit, and now we're going to move on to primer, and I've got a few that I just want to talk to you about. So the first one is this one. This is the Catrice CC Skin Perfector, which is an anti-redness primer, which should be ideal for me who suffers with rosacea. Now that's the Skin Perfector. I don't know why I just squeezed out all that on my hand. No idea. It's kind of thick. It is kind of thick. Now, if you have a lot of redness to deal with, then I would say, you know, this would be great for that. Now, there's another one. This is another new one. This is the Tennisational Dream Primer. And this is a bit of a range that they've brought out. So there's a primer. There's also a setting spray. Okay, so this, this confused me. So this has 10 functions. Priming, hydrating, anti-wrinkle, natural glow, anti-pollution, anti-oxidation, pore minimizing, evens out the skin tone, blurs imperfections, and UV protection, SPF 15. Now, I use this as a primer, but I don't think I would do that again. This has a little bit of coverage to it, and I used it underneath a foundation. It was quite a medium to full coverage foundation, and it was terrible. It was really bad. I would be tempted to use that on its own if I wanted a no makeup look. So this is the other one that I've been using. This is the Catrice Glass-Like Pearl Primer. So this is like a glow booster, and that's what we're going to use on one half of the face today. I don't want too much glow because the foundation that we're going to be using is fairly glowy. So that's how it looks. You see it's just very, very subtly luminous. I think we'll go in on this side with the primer. And we'll just use a little bit of it. And you see there, it's not super glowy, is it? It's actually nice. Over here, I've got a little bit more redness and texture there. So I think on that side, I'll go in with the Skin Perfector with the anti-redness and see how that looks. Now, you don't need a lot of this, so I'm going to use the tiniest amount. I'm just going to use it in the areas where I would normally use primer. And I'll put a bit on my nose. Okay, so that's the anti-redness side, and that's the Pearl Primer. So we're going to let those sit now while we move on and we do our eyes. So I've already prepped my eyelids, and we're going to go in with eyeshadow now. And I have two palettes that I want to chat about. So I just need to decide which one I'm going to use today. I think I know. I'm going to use the newest one, I think, which is this one. So this is the Deep Velvet Eyeshadow Palette, and then over here we have the Cozy Earth Eyeshadow Palette. These retail for $6.95 each. So that's the Cozy Earth Eyeshadow Palette. I will show you some close-up swatches of these, but I think what we're going to go for today is this one, which is the Deep Velvet Eyeshadow Palette, and this is a burgundy colour story, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. These are quality eyeshadows, and for only €7. So I'm going to start off by taking my Morphe M333, and I'm going to go into this shade here. It's very, very subtle, and it's just a perfect transition shade. It's just such a really nice soft shade, really subtle. And it's okay for this shade to be subtle because the burgundy shades, they are very, very pigmented. So then I'm going to go into this burgundy here, and I'm going to use my Morphe M331 for this. And I'm just going to take it into the crease a little bit, and above my crease, I'm going to pick up my Morphe M383, and I'm just going to bring a little bit of that under the lash line. I'm going to take my Morphe M303, and I'm just going to dip into this shade all over the lid. It's just a really soft matte. Okay, I'm going to use a couple of shimmers. I'm going to go in with this pinky one first. Just going to take that here. It actually is a little bit more satin than it is shimmery. And I find that with all of the shades in this palette, to be honest, none of them are particularly super shimmery, which is nice. I like it. I love a good satin. So now we're going to brighten up the eye a bit by going into this lightest shade. And we're going to take that in the center of the lid. Creating looks with this palette is so easy. It's so easy and quick. I'm just going to go into that light shimmer again with a Refa 21, and I'm just going to bring that in the inner corner. Now I will be bringing some concealer in that area as well, so I can touch up my inner corner later on. And we can go back into the Morphe smudger brush, and we can go into this. This is kind of a neutral brown, and we can just bring a little bit under the lash line, and just on the lash line, just a little bit. I think it's really hard to find really good eyeshadow palettes at the drugstore. I do struggle. I don't struggle with Catrice. These palettes, of which they have many, many colour stories, are so worth every single penny. Love them. Moving on to mascara, and I don't think Catrice are as well known as their sister brand Essence for their mascaras, but Catrice have one of my all-time favourite mascaras. This is fairly new from them. This is the Catrice Stay in Place Tubing Mascara. It retails for $6.25. It's a little bit of a drier formula, which I feel like tubing mascaras should be. They should be drier. This obviously claims to give you smudge-proof eyelashes. It will wrap around each individual lash and create beautiful length and volume. Now, the only thing is with these mascaras, with tubing mascaras, is they tend to dry quite quickly. So once they wrap around the lashes, that's it. They're in place and they're not going to move. So obviously there's pros and cons to that, but you need to work a little bit fast. So this has definitely dried out more with how much I've been using it, because this is such a go-to for me. If I want my eyelashes to stay in place, then I'm going for this one, because they don't flake, they don't smudge, they just stay where they are. Now this mascara has its work cut out today because I've got a little bit of shedding here with my eyelashes. So it's a little bit gappy, but it's absolutely fine. It's done its best. I do feel like this has dried out though now and probably needs replacing, and I've not really had it that long. So that's something to bear in mind, is it's gone quite dry. Anyway, let me just go and match up these eyes. So as I mentioned, tubing mascaras, they do not budge once they are on. They are definitely the next best thing to a waterproof mascara, but there are people like me who don't like waterproof mascaras because they're really tough to remove, whereas tubing mascaras will literally just come off with warm water really quick, really easy. Okay, we're going to move on to the under eyes now, and we're going to have a look again at these. These are the Catrice Under Eye Brightener Instant Awake little under eye pots. So I have the shade Light Rose and I have the shade Warm Nude as well, and I think we might use a little bit of a mix of these. So I'll just show you what these look like. So they're quite an emollient type texture, and these I guess are supposed to be a mixture of a colour corrector and an under eye brightener. There we have the pink and we have the peach as well. So the pink is really good for kind of this place, this area for me where it's really dark, and so I'll just tap a little bit there with my finger. And just a bit here. These feel really, really nice. And how much are these? These are $4.65. And now I'm going to go in with a little bit of this, which is the Warm Nude. And I'm going to go over where I have these kind of problematic vein there, and just try and colour correct it a little bit. I don't really need any more over here, so I'm not going to bother. So Catrice are very well known for one particular concealer, and it's this one, the True Skin High Coverage Concealer, and it's one of my holy grails. I have 2 shades of these, and do you know what? I've used them a billion times on this channel. So because I've used these a billion times on the channel, I'm not going to use it today. I do want to address this. Catrice can be really confusing at times. I actually contacted Catrice over the True Skin line because they did say that they were discontinuing it, and they confirmed, yes, we are discontinuing the True Skin line, but it's still here. It's still here. I'm not moaning. It's one of the best concealers at the drugstore, absolutely. But why are you confusing us like that? I don't know what's happening. But anyway, this is fantastic. Absolutely love it. $4.65 for one of the best concealers you can ever get. But today we're going to go in with a lesser known concealer from Catrice, and this is the Instant Bright Serum Concealer. And this is one that I haven't used a whole lot because I always go back to the True Skin. I have this in the shade 032, and this is $4.45, and this is definitely, as the name would suggest, more serum-y than the True Skin. Now, what I will say, I really struggle. I find that a lot of their shades do run yellow, and I do find that with the True Skin as well. I find it frustrating. I have to admit that, you know, they're not perfect, and they're certainly not perfect when it comes to their shades. So I'm going to use my Morphe M131 concealer brush to pop this concealer on. I haven't used this in such a long time, actually. Yeah, I don't think it's a very brightening shade, but you know, I will say that when you apply this, that it definitely feels obviously a lot more serum-like. And whereas I would say the True Skin is a full coverage concealer, this is definitely a medium. And there is definitely a difference between the two. This was a concealer that actually I didn't use for a long time and then started to pick it up again, and it definitely grew on me. And if my eyes are feeling particularly dry, my under eyes, which they often are, then I prefer to go in with this concealer, which is the Serum. Really nice. And my eyes have been particularly dry recently. If you want medium coverage, go for this. Go for the Serum Concealer. If you want full coverage, go for the Catrice True Skin. I just want to take a shader brush. This is the BK Beauty A505. And I just want to go back into that Under Eye Brightener, the pink one. And I just want to bring some into the inner corner because I'm so dark in that area. And I will touch up the eyeshadow. But it's just perfect for deep set eyes. So we have a brand new complexion product now from Catrice, and it's one that I said I was going to pick up. This is the Catrice Skin Like Tinted Moisturiser. Okay, I have mixed feelings about this, and it's down to the shades. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I've had such an absolute nightmare with the shades. So I ended up with 3 shades and none of them are decent. What? So this retails for $4.95 and it has an SPF of 30 and it claims to be a hydrating tinted moisturiser. I would say that it's more like a skin tint. Now I started off with the shade 030N neutral shade and it literally looks terrible on me. Then I went and I got 027C, which is a cool shade. Now I'm a neutral olive, but for some reason the cool shade is looking better on me. But then I went and I got 04N because these are so light. And honestly, it's so dark. So that's 027C. That's cool. Then I have 030 neutral. That is 045N. I know, right? So if you mixed all these, it would probably give me the best outcome. But I've been having the best outcome with 027 Cool. Honestly, neutral just really washes me out. For this, I'm going to use my Morphe M242 brush. I'm just going to use the cool shade. And it just seems to sit on my skin better. And that doesn't mean I have cool toned skin because I don't. I don't have a cool undertone, but because I'm neutral, I guess I can go for either. Just on this occasion, the neutral just washes me out. So let's talk about this tinted moisturiser, which again, you know, maybe try and apply with your fingers. You would probably get a more true application, but obviously going in with a brush, you are going to get more coverage. In fact, let me take this lip product off. Oh my gosh, that has tinted my lips. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, wow. That's probably the best lip tint I've ever used. I've never kept it on for that long. Wow. So that's just one side. And that's with nothing. And this side was the side with the pearl primer, and this is the side with the anti-redness primer. So I would say that this is a very, very light coverage. So I'd say that you could build this up to, I mean, possibly the lightest of medium coverages. But there's one major negative with this, and it is the fragrance. Oh my gosh. It is, yeah, it's very perfumey, I would describe it as, and it's very disappointing to me that they have added that. I'm so impressed with my lips. I can't believe that tint. Wow. Yeah, so the fragrance is overpowering. It is. I'm sick of fragrance, honestly. I'm over it. I really am over it. It looks really, really dewy now, but it definitely does tone down. It definitely sets down and doesn't continue to feel tacky. But I've really loved how this has looked on my skin. So if we just go over the claims again, it claims to be a lightweight tinted moisturiser with buildable coverage, 24 hours of hydration, an SPF of 30, and it claims to give a natural dewy finish, and it definitely does. I'd say it does stay quite like this now, so you're not going to get like a lot of blurring with this skin tint. I would call it a skin tint rather than a tinted moisturiser. Couple of negatives that you need to bear in mind. Number one is the shade range. Although it comes in a fair few shades, I don't think any of them are very good. I think the undertones are pretty off. And I think the biggest negative for me is the addition of the fragrance. So yeah, now the fragrance does dissipate, but it takes a while to dissipate. So I can go off about my day and still for the first hour at least, I can still smell it. So again, very perfumey type smell. However, oh my gosh, for a light coverage day when you just want to throw on something that you don't have to work hard with, you don't want a lot of coverage, but you just want a little bit of an evening out of the skin tone. You know, if you just want a no makeup day, this is really, really nice. It's a fabulous product. And can I just tell you one thing about this? It has incredible staying power. I can't believe how well this lasts on my skin. I can look in the mirror in 8 hours and it will still look this good. It doesn't fade away, which is baffling to my brain. We are moving on to the Catrice Sculpt and Charm. This is a contour stick. I don't usually wear contour and bronzer at the same time, but we are going to today. So this retails for $5.75. Oh my gosh, this is wow. So I did pick up 2 shades of this because, of course I didn't know what I was choosing. I'd say that they are not traditionally super contoury type shades. Can I just say I'm so impressed with the tint on my lips. I'm going to pop a little lip oil on over that tint. This is the Catrice Tinted Lip Oil Gloss in Glow. And what shade is this? Keep It Juicy. That was $4.65 in my local pharmacy. I forgot to actually tell you where all of these products are made, but the majority of products from Catrice are made in Italy, and you can tell, and this is one of them. So I have 020 Stone, which is the lightest one, and then I have 030 Clay. So there's Stone and there's Clay. And although they're not particularly warm, they're not particularly cool either. Well, Clay isn't, which is my shade, which is 020. So we're going to go in with that today. And I am going to use my BK Beauty A507 for this. I'm going to pop a little bit just above my cheekbones. This is so incredibly creamy. Honestly, it's so nice. I'm just going to tap that out. And you honestly, I don't feel like you need a bronzer with this. Look at how quick that blends. I love it. Just tapping. This is such a stunning product. And for $5.75, I mean, how is it that inexpensive? So easy to work with. We'll pop a bit up here. I just think it's so beautiful, naturally impactful, and it lasts so well as well. Love it. It's as good as any high-end contour you will ever use. I promise you that. So we're going to go in over that contour with some cream bronzer. And I know you won't be surprised that I'm using this. This is my trusty bronzer from Catrice. This is the Melted Sun Cream Bronzer, and I have this in the shade Beach Babe. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is it's not super emollient at all. And I kind of feel like I have to warm up the product a bit. That's the shade Beach Babe. Now, once you warm this up a bit, it will blend beautifully. This is $5.95, and I'm going to go in with the same brush. Now, you want to be a bit more careful with this because it's really pigmented. And I'm just going to go above where I popped that contour. And this is just such a natural bronzer. And do you know, I think this is a great bronzer for people who don't like super creamy, you know, super luminous bronzers, whereas this has a very soft matte finish, I feel. But I just find this such a natural bronzer and I just love it. I really do. I do have quite a few blushes from Catrice. The Blush and Charm blush stick. This is in the shade Radiant Honey, which is so pretty, so pretty, and quite natural as well. But this is my favorite. This is a blush palette. It's the Blur Balm blush palette. Now this is probably the most expensive thing I'm putting on my face today, which is £7.95. So we're still under the €8 mark. So what I like to do, and it was actually a viewer that gave me the idea to do this, I think, was to kind of dip into a few of the blushes at once and then apply. And yeah, you have to be really careful with these though, because they are so pigmented. So pigmented. But there's something for all occasions in here, honestly. Over here you have a little creamy highlighter as well. The back of my hand is literally a mess at this point. Okay, I am going to use my BK Beauty 109 brush for this because it's my favourite brush for cream blush. Let's just dip around, shall we? We'll go into here, we'll go into here. See how pigmented that is? This is literally worth every penny. If you like cream blush, obviously. If you don't like cream blush, you won't like it. Blends just instantly. So honestly, those blushes, they are smoothing, they are hydrating. I cannot recommend this palette enough. Yes, it's right at the top end of what we're going to pay for Catrice, but oh my gosh, it's so worth it. I think I need to try and get this lip tint off for when I put some lippy on. Look at that, that's a baby wipe. Okay, if you're looking for a lip tint that's super comfortable and that actually does tint your lips, then you need to go for the Catrice. All right, let's move on to some powder now. Now I have a bunch of powders from Catrice and they do really lovely, finely milled loose powders, and we're concentrating on loose powders today. I don't have any pressed powders from Catrice, actually. I don't know why I don't. This is a massive favourite for me. This is the Catrice Bright and Blur Setting Powder, which retails for £6.25. I have this in soft pink and it is beautiful. Now, this is one of my absolute favourites. This is the Catrice Soft Blur Matte Setting Powder. I love this for all over the face. So I'm going to use this all over the face today. Now, I do have another powder, which is an under eye brightener. And this accompanies the cream under eye brightener, and this is the powder. This is in the shade Warm Nude. Now I didn't love this when I first used it. This costs £4.45, but I think I'm going to give it a little whirl again today. My Morphe M164 powder brush, and I'm just going to tap it off a bit. So I'm just going to pat that under the eye. I don't think you need a lot of this. Well, you never need a lot of powder, ever. Okay, I really like that. I'm glad that I gave that another whirl because so many people absolutely swear by this under eye setting powder, and I think I had just applied too much of it the last time that I used it, but that is perfect for under the eyes. Now I'm going to go in with this, which is the Catrice Soft Blur Matte Setting Powder in Translucent, and I'm just going to dust this across the face. Now this is super finely milled. For this, I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques Ultimate powder brush. It's really nice and fluffy, and I only need it kind of in my T-zone, so I'm just going to work what's on the lid just into my brush and just tap and just on the forehead. It just feels like nothing on your face, honestly, because they're so super finely milled. So my face just looks really natural now, and it will continue to look like that all day. So I've got a couple of highlighters here, and one is a new one. This is the Diamond Haze Jelly Highlighter Stick. I'm not using this because I don't really like it. It is literally just glitter. Do you know, one thing I'll say is it feels so cooling on the skin. It's probably not picking up the glitter now, but when I put it on my face, can you see it there now? No, just glitter. I don't want glitter on my face, thanks. Nope. So I'm going in with this, which is the Catrice Glass-Like Highlighter Stick. If you have used the highlighter from L'Oreal, the Lumila Glass highlighter, it's literally just the same thing. So this is in the shade Keep It Glassy. And I'm actually going to take my Real Techniques Light Layer Complexion Brush, and I'm going to just dip into that, and I'm just going to take it on the cheeks. I love these Real Techniques brushes because they give you such a light application. I really like this, but I love the Lumina Glass as well. And I'm pretty sure Merit have a highlighter that's similar to. Okay, I actually want to go in with a little bit of setting spray, and I want to talk to you about a new one that has been released. This is part of that Sensational range. This is the 10-in-1 setting spray. This is $5.65, and I'm going to say that I don't love this, and I think it's because I've got dry skin, okay? So I think this is amazing for people who need a bit of oil control, who absolutely needs their makeup to stay in place, because it definitely does do that. But what I do find is it will absorb the moisture in my skin, but I don't need my moisture keeping at bay. I need the moisture in my skin. So I'd say if you've got oily skin, you will like this. So I would recommend this over this for drier skin gals. Gals, why do I say that? This is the Catrice Blend and Bond Setting Spray. This is a real favourite for me. This again is $5.65. So just pop a bit of that on. I absolutely love the mister. So this gives a really natural look to the skin, and it is hydrating. Okay, I've got a good few lip products to show you. My lips are still stained, aren't they, from that lip tint? Right, I need to talk to you about some lip liners, and these are new from Catrice, and I started out with one, and now I've got all these because they are so gorgeous. So these are the Gel Glide long-lasting lip liners. These retail for $2.75. So I've got 5 of them, but I still haven't found a true nude. So that is Line Me Softly. Next is Drip the Drama. Next is Latte Lines. Oh, I actually have 2 of the same shade. What is wrong with me? How did I end up with 2 of the same shade? And then we have Sip and Slay. Let me tell you why I keep going back for these lip liners. They are the most easiest things to apply to your lips. They are so creamy. They glide so effortlessly, and they last so perfectly on the lips as well. Let me just show you Latte Lines, seeing as I've got 2 of them. None of these shades are doing it for me today with this eyeshadow look. However, the lip product that we're going in with, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really need a lip liner. But I just wanted to tell you about those lip liners because they are so phenomenal. Now, another product that I've gone back and bought more of are these. These are the glass-like gloss sticks. They're just glossy lipsticks, but very, very soft, very, very subtle and gorgeous. They pair so beautifully with a darker lip liner. That's Bare Ambition. This is Glacé Macchiato. This is Crush Me Softly. But my favourite is Bare Ambition. So let me just pop this on. Now, it's a little bit lighter because of the lip liner, but this is so beautiful. Now, this lip is a little bit too warm, I would say, for the look that I'm going for today. So I'm just going to wipe this off. Been through a lot of lip products today, haven't I? So, but on the lips today, we're going to be going in with something new. This is the Catrice Filler Supreme, and I adore this so much. And I love it without a lip liner. I love it on its own. So this retails for $3.95, if you can even believe that, because this honestly feels like a high-end lip gloss. It feels like a lip oil. It doesn't feel like a gloss. This is in the shade Misbehave, as in Miss Behave, like Mr. Behave. That's what it looks like. And I'm going to pop that on today. It feels unreal. It doesn't feel like a gloss at all. This feels like a lip oil lip gloss hybrid. In fact, nothing about it feels like a gloss. It's not sticky. I love it. I actually have another shade as well. I have this shade as well, which is Fairy Tale Filter, $3.95. How is that even possible? Nothing here is above €8. Nothing. How is that even possible? And whilst we're talking about the prices, I did just want to say that I spotted on their Instagram page that Catrice have said that they are going to absorb the extra tariffs that are applicable in America right now. And do you know what? For them to say that they are not going to raise their prices in 2026 is fairly incredible. They are one of the only brands that are keeping their prices actually at drugstore level. So obviously we've got their sister brand Essence. We've got Wet n Wild. They always keep their prices low, but everyone else creeping up. They are creeping up. Loved today. Obviously, there's a few things that I think proceed with cautiously, like the skin tint that does have quite the fragrance, but there's nothing here that I can say is absolutely rubbish. What can I say? Love Catrice. Love them. So please do let me know, what did you think about all of this makeup? Do you have any of these, or are you planning on testing any of them out? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video. But until then, take care and bye for now.